Alright, boys, today I'm going to talk a little bit about this Video Studio 2017 which you will be using for your ADM. Today is lesson 1, so you will be expecting to know the environment that you are using. This is pretty new as compared to what we've previously used, the videos, Visual Studio 2007 Express. So once you come to this place, right, the new page, let's always start a new project. So once you start a new project, they will always ask you for, you just select the Visual Basic under Windows Forms and just save it in your Y drive. For me, I'll be saving it here. I'll call this lesson 1, lesson 01, and I'll click OK. Make sure you create the directory for solutions. Once you click OK, right, it will be uh, creating the projects that you throw in all the files and folders that you will need, which you can find. For me, it is in D drive. For you, you will have to see it in your Y drive. So under D drive, my Visual VB Studio 2017 files under lesson 01. You realize inside there's this solution file, which is how it links up all your project. Inside here, you will see all the files and folders. Under bin, you can see that there's a debug, and whatever files that I compile, it will come out here. So let me explain using this. So in my VB2017, you will see that there is my toolbox here. Sometimes you may not be able to see, so it might be hidden on the left. You just click onto this and pin it onto the board, onto your screen. Then you will see Solution Explorer on the right hand side here and Properties. So this form, when I click onto it, you will see properties of my form here. This is output. Every time you start you run, means you compile and run this window forms, you will see it at the at your computer screen. So once I click start, you realize that you will see a form running somewhere in the screen later. Right now it's compiling. It's starting to compile and debug. So once it finishes, you will generate this file, lesson 01.executable. So you will see that it comes out somewhere here at the left of the screen. It can't do anything at the moment, but let's close it. Once you close it, you will see that left the play button here. So once I go back to my bin under debug, you realize there's a lesson 01.exe. This application it can run on its own now. You see it comes out here, but it's of course not very nice. We can always make provision to make it look nicer. So this is just to show you that you will know where is your file that you have created that's independent. Alright, now of course, first thing first, this form is called form 1. We can change the text on the form if we want to call it. You can call it lesson 1, you can call it your initials, and you realize that as you scroll down, you will see more and more properties of the form 1 that you can change actually. Alright, let's move down a little bit to Windows. Alright, you realize that under the Windows there is a position somewhere. Position, you can start at the default position, or you can start manually, or you can start at the center screen, which is my favorite. And Windows state, normally I'll just place it to be maximized, so they cover the whole of your screen. So with these two already done up, we can just start to run it and see how does it look like. You'll see that it covers up your whole screen now. Okay, and it's called MP. The program is called MP. Alright, when I double click onto the form, you will realize that it comes to from the design to the coding. In the coding environment, you will see it always start with a public class form 1, and whatever starts with a class, it will end with a class. So everything in between is what we will do. So if you look at this private sub, and there is an end sub, so whatever happened to this, I can program it when the form 1 loads. You can say a message or you can do whatever. So when form 1 loads, I don't want anything to happen. I can delete this. So, and I can go back to my design view. All right. So for this lesson, very simple. There are all Windows form. There's common controls and containers and such and such. So normally we'll use the common control until further part of the lesson. Let's click on the button. At the button control, you can just click, or you can select a button and just make it as big as you want. But of course, you realize that the font is rather fixed unless you select button 2 and you move down to the font, which you can of course change it under the font. Font is there, font. Alright, let's move up and check. Okay, look at the, yeah, there's a font here. You can change it to be as big as you want so that it is easier for you to see. You may want to use something like 20 font. You might want to bold it. Okay, so it will look bigger than button 1. So when I double click button 1, you realize now it has a private sub routine that runs whenever the button 1 is clicked. So don't do anything to the top header and the ending of the sub. You can key in anything here. So sometimes you want to know what does this button 1 do. You can type something like comment. So if you don't know how to comment, actually you can go to Google. You under your browser, you can say how to comment in VB2017, and after that, of course, there are many helps you can do. You can click onto it and read through all this. So you realize that as under VB is apostrophe is a comment that you comment the whole line. Then of course if you want to comment multiple lines, you can use other, you can see whether is there a possibility of using and other ways to comment. So there's a multi comment in VB. So multi-line comment, is there a multi-line? People say that okay, not really, so start with the apostrophe. So what we do is we'll just put an apostrophe somewhere here and just say that this button changes the text is text to hello. Okay, so whenever we press enter, this is just a comment for our own purpose. The computer doesn't bother about this. So to really change its own text to hello, so button 1 I want to change it to hello. So what happened is this: when I want to program this button, I double click on this button 1. Remember, it's button 1. What happened when button 1 click? So I want button 1 dot text. That means the text on button 1, I want it to change to inverted hello. Alright, I can just put an apostrophe here if I want to. Then after that, you go back, you realize nothing is changed. But when I run the program and I click on button 1, it will change its text here to hello with apostrophe. Sorry, with an exclamation. But how to change it back? Alright, that's something that you can challenge yourself to do. Once you finish, remember to save all. And after that, you can of course definitely close this, go back to your your drive under 2017, lesson 1 bin debug. You can look for your lesson 1, run it, and it can run on its own. So this is what we are doing for lesson 1, just let you have a rough idea of what you can do with buttons. Hope you enjoy this.